something very important about retention is that, at your age, you'll probably be making a very grave mistake about retention. So I'll tell you what happens. People say you open a book, okay, and you read the page one, and then you remember everything in page one. Okay, you're like, now page one is done. Then you move to page two, and you read page two, and you remember things in page two, but you realize that you're starting to forget things from page one. Then you go back to check on page one. Do I still remember this? And then you go to page three, and then you're like, now I'm definitely forgetting stuff that was in page one and two. And by the time you're in page 10, page 20, you're like, oh my God, how can I remember all this? I don't remember anything I read in page two, page three, page four, page five. And that's not how it works. Okay. Your brain is different. So there is a part of your brain which has an immediate memory, and there are some things which are like mid-term, long-term memory. Okay. So when you are reading something, you commit it to your memory. So for example, I'm telling you a fact that, so for example, that, let's say, what do I say? Like, say password for this session is 123454. Okay. 123454. Now that is the password of the Zoom session for some reason. Okay. And I tell you this, and your brain has the ability to remember this number after 5 years also. It is there in your brain, but whether you'll be able to pull it out when you need, that is the only question. By the way, you may not remember it when you are not in front of the Zoom session, but when you sit in front of it, you remember, right? And I can give you a better example. Let's say you read that, okay, let me remember something. Okay, the Sepoy Mutiny happened in 1857. Okay, now you read that, and you are likely to forget. If you have never read it before, you read it the first time, you may forget. But you have to just remember 1857 Sepoy Mutiny. Okay, I'm going to remember it and move on. Half the time, when you come back to that question later, you see the question again, your brain will trigger the answer and you remember. You may not remember it 2 hours later when you're trying to think, oh, when did Sepoy Mutiny happen? Because you forget all this information, but it is there in your brain. So there are different parts of your brain. Some parts of your brain has long-term memory. And when you are dealing, it's like RAM and hard drive, right? So the information may not be in the RAM, which is your immediate memory, but it is there in your hard drive. So when you really need the information, your brain is capable of pulling it out of the hard drive. Just because it is not in the RAM, don't panic. Your RAM is much smaller than your hard drive. So your RAM will only remember what is immediately relevant. So when I used to study, right, I would go through things. I will take a pause. When I read something new, I will take a pause and I will commit it to my memory and trust my memory that I'm going to remember. Okay, this is very important. If you don't trust your memory, you won't remember. You have to trust your memory. It sounds crazy, but that's how it is. Okay. If you say that, yeah, I'm going to remember this and move on, and you can revise later on, but never backtrack. Never backtrack. Okay. If you backtrack, you will sabotage your preparation. So the biggest, if you go into even a law school, by the way, you pick up a book, somebody in a hostel, somebody is stable, pick up a book, after the exam, let's say the day after exam, open it, you will see that there will be like 30 pages in the book. The first 30 pages are like crumpled and yellow, and like, you can see that they have been really read. And the rest of the pages are not red, they are pristine white. You know why? Because people get stuck with those first 30 pages. Because they go to when they are on page 30, they are trying to see if they can remember thing on the page 2, and then they backtrack and start reading from page 2 again. And in this process, they lose their confidence, and they also lose tremendous amount of time, and it is not necessary. This is not how the brain functions. Okay, just think of how you learn a language. Let's say I'm a Bengali. I didn't learn English or Hindi when I was growing up. But how did I learn Hindi? I don't know. I was watching TV and I learned. The brain has its own way to learn. Okay. So if you give those inputs to the brain and you trust it to remember, tell yourself that this is important. I need to remember, and you move on to the next thing. So the thing about retention is that if your different parts of your brain are involved in that memory, then you are more likely to remember it. So if you have only read something, then you can still remember it. But if you have read it and you have written it down also, then a higher chance of remembering it. And if you have seen a flashcard or a screen or something about the same thing, then it's an even higher chance of remembering, because now that information is not in one place in your hard drive, but in multiple files. So when you are looking for it, it is much faster to find it. and your brain has developed better connections about that information. So that information is well related to other things also. So then you have a higher chance of remembering it. And if you apply it, then you certainly remember. So I'll give you an example. I know 156.3, section 156.3 of CRPC, exactly what it is. But if you ask me what is 156.2, subsection 2, I don't remember. I don't know what is 156.1 either. Okay, but 156.3 I remember. You know why? Because I have filed cases. 156.3 is when when police do not register your FIR, you go to the magistrate under 156.3 CRPC. The provision is there that the magistrate can order registration of FIR. Now, this is something that I have done, so I remember. So anything you have applied, you remember. So when I was training myself for vocabulary, and I was a Bengali medium student, and my English was pathetic. Okay, so I had to improve my vocabulary overnight. And what I did is that when I learned a new word, I created funny sentence like that. Okay, so I'll create a sentence that I once went to a camping trip to an obscure village called Duarsini. Now I went to Duarsini. It was on a very memorable camping trip from my life when I was 8 years old, 14 years old, class 8. And I traveled to this place, and I always remember. I had my first crush on a girl over there. So now I remember that place for sure. No way I'm going to forget it. Okay. Now I relate this word obscure with that place. That Duarsini is an obscure village where I went on a camping trip. Now I am definitely not going to forget this. Okay. Now this is called, basically you're relating some new knowledge with a very well-established knowledge in your brain. Then you're not going to forget it. So this is a very powerful way to retaining new knowledge. Once you relate it to that, you're not going to forget. There is something called memory palace. I don't want to, go too much into that. But if somebody is interested in developing superhuman memory, there's something called memory palace. Okay, memory palace is like imagine a room that you know very well. Okay, like every furniture in that place, everything. You can remember every inch of that place. Maybe your bedroom, maybe the room in which you grew up, maybe your drawing room, some room that your flat, you just remember everything over there, right? And then if you want to remember something, you have seen the magicians who can remember all the numbers. People randomly tell them, and they can say it back, forward and backward. How can they do it? Because they associate each of the numbers or each of the information with their room, like each furniture. Like you enter the room, there's a chair. So somebody says some information, they associate with the chair, that this thing is sitting in the chair. And then there's next to the chair, let's say there's a piano. So next thing they said, okay, and another information to the piano. So then they can remember a lot. This is called a memory palace technique for remembering massive amount of information. Okay, but you don't need that. I'm just trying to tell you that your brain is capable of remembering things way better when you associate new information with very well established old information that is very close to you, right? So it's just something that if you want to remember, right? Remember things and not forget. This is a very useful technique, and it is not hard. By the way, it may seem a little weird on the day one, or maybe not even day one. Maybe for the first 1 or 2 hours, it might seem difficult to remember. But as you keep doing this again and again, it becomes a second nature. And in a flash of in a blink, you'll be able to associate new information with old information and then retain them better and recall them.